on Extended Play. We go to the Anime Expo in Long Beach to find out how anime has crossed into gaming. We have an exclusive look at Dot Hack, the single-player PS2 game that puts you in a multiplayer universe. We go back in time to World War II in our review of Medal of Honor Frontline. And we step into the seedy world of Dead to Rights. Stick around, it's game time. Hello and welcome to Extended Play from Anime Expo 2002 in Long Beach, California. I'm Adam Sessler. If you're into Japanese animation, this is where you want to be. It's an amazing collection of DVDs, artwork, figures, and very curiously dressed people. Now, the rise in popularity of Japanese animation has happened at the same time in the rise in popularity of another great Japanese import, video games. And the two do cross over quite a bit. So here's a look at the anime excitement in your gaming. Since the early 80s, video games have been more than just another way to cash in on the latest anime craze. It's given fans the chance to be their favorite characters and save the world at the same time. Everything from Mazinger Z to Cowboy Bebop to Neon Genesis Evangelion has made their mark on the gaming world, for better or for worse. Anime-based games had their beginnings with such 8-bit titles like the sci-fi adventure Red Beam Zillion and the Kujaku Peacock King series, known here as Spellcaster, and its 16-bit sequel, Mystic Defender. Soon, CD-ROM-friendly consoles allowed for full-motion video, and in no time, anime games took advantage of this format.
Take them off, you moron.
Fuchikoma, just do your job and help the rookie.
Notable games in the past include Magic Knight Rayearth and Ghost in the Shell. But since many of these releases are merely merchandising tie-ins, lots of titles tend to fall flat. Two franchises that have boasted poor track records in gaming are the Mobile Suit Gundam and Dragon Ball series. It was a matter of time before countless original titles, not based on any anime, were produced. Prime examples include Sonic Team's Burning Rangers, an action game that featured a futuristic firefighting team, and Guardian Heroes, a hectic adventure beat-em-up that allowed for up to 6 players at a time.
I've got you now, Nutscracker!
Companies like Working Designs and Atlas have based their whole software lineup on these types of games, releasing such classics as Popful Mail, Lunar, and Tail Concerto. It's obvious these games have made an impact on the rest of the industry. Even U.S. developers have since attempted to capture the anime look, most notably with the overhyped Oni by Bungie. As the appeal of anime continues to grow, so too will the appeal of its video game offshoots. The quality might not be there with every release, but don't expect that to stop the average fan from stepping into the shoes of their favorite giant robot or superhero. And now for a look at the #1 games for your next-gen consoles. After leaving its console roots to become one of the best PC games of the year, the Medal of Honor franchise returns to the PS2, and gamers declare a hearty victory by making it #1. And for the Xbox, another PC winner makes a convincing move to a console, providing ample gaming hours while awaiting the next strong title and making Morrowind #1. Despite being out for over half a year, apparently people still need to get their hands on Super Smash Bros. Well, it's fun, it's extremely silly, and it's #1. Coming up on Extended Play, we take flight in our review of Sky Gunner and give the new Dragon Ball Z Game Boy Advance title a good thrashing. Anime Expo. Now behind me you see Robotech. Back in my day, my entire life revolved around that show. That was my first introduction to this genre, and the game is coming along excellently. Leave it to an American team to actually get it right. Well, we're going to look at two games now that revolve around combat, but in very different ways. The first is the PS2 version for Medal of Honor. And the second is air combat with a decidedly anime twist. In fact, it resembles some of the work of Hayao Miyazaki, the man behind Princess Mononoke. It's called Sky Gunner. The flight sim genre has seen its share of deep, overly complicated titles, such as Microsoft's Flight Simulator and the Falcon series. So it's refreshing to see more lighthearted arcade-style games like Atlas's Sky Gunner. Developed originally by Sony Japan, Sky Gunner is a steampunk shooter starring a trio of valiant pilots who are trying to stop Ventor, a malevolent powermonger who leads an army of baby robots. The game has a variety of flight control settings, allowing you to decide whether or not you want to deal with such factors like roll, pitch, and yaw. Though after a few test flights, you'll see why you might want to keep your control setup simple. The game features non-stop aerial combat with planes coming from all sides. Missions aren't restricted to just dogfighting, though. You'll also have to defend airships from a barrage of torpedoes and take on bosses through pseudo-European waterways. While the main story only spans 5 stages, you'll want to play this game more than once, as each character follows a different plot path. If you're looking for a great flight sim that won't bog you down with complex controls, you're going to want to check out Sky Gunner. We give it a 4 out of 5. EA's Medal of Honor Frontline is World War II on your TV, as immersive as the History Channel, but far more interactive. There are some similarities to Allied Assault, the PC release, but apart from a couple of missions, this is a totally different game. Frontline places you in some of the most dangerous situations World War II's European theater had to offer. It takes you from the beaches of D-Day to subterfuge on a German submarine to the heat of major battles. You begin as an infantry soldier facing Normandy's cruel cliffs and Germany's fearsome machine gun nests. You're such a hero, in fact, that it becomes hard to imagine what the other troops would do without you.
Get out there and retrieve those Bangalores! I can't move! Take over the gun! Give me some cover! Help me out!
Frontline looks terrific and sounds even better. The sound of bullets striking nearby causes you to cringe in your seat. Facial animations look great and add a layer of realism to the experience.
Get to the top of this bunker, and I'll take the other one!
This game isn't perfect, though. For one thing, there are the problematic console control issues. The PS2 gamepad just doesn't replicate the tight controls offered by a mouse and keyboard on most first-person shooters. Aiming is sluggish and unresponsive when you need it to be accurate. The Nazi hordes in this game are all crack shots, and it would help if you were able to be one too. Another imperfect feature is the somewhat addled AI of your fellow soldiers. They don't fight as well as the bad guys, and often will run into your fire path. Those minor problems aside, the game is atmospheric and well-crafted enough to please any serious first-person shooter fan or history buff. Extended play gives Medal of Honor Frontline a 4 out of 5. Grand Theft Auto 3 is set in what might possibly be the most violent city in America, Liberty City. If you find that the hood's giving you a hard time, you can amp up the insanity with the following cheat codes. To start a pedestrian riot, press down, up, left, up, X, R1, R2, L2, and L1. Soon the law-abiding folk of Liberty City will start wailing on each other, and fistfights will begin to blossom. However, if your riot gets a little out of hand and you need to break free from the madness, try an invisible car. Press L1 twice, square, R2, triangle. Done correctly, all that will be left is your wheels. And if that doesn't quite get you out of the jam, you can always hop out. Press R1, L1, R2, L1, left, and R1 twice. And then you can use the R3 and L3 controls to jump. You can jump over cars, walls, and even the roofs of buildings. which comes in handy when evading the man. As big as the Dragon Ball franchise is, it's surprising that Legacy of Goku is only the second Dragon Ball title to ever come out in the States. This GBA title ambitiously follows the series' first 3 seasons. Oddly enough, the game only takes about 5 hours to complete. The game attempts to pull off the action RPG setup made famous by The Legend of Zelda on the NES. Unfortunately, Legacy of Goku doesn't do a great job. In no way does the gameplay capture the frenetic duels that have made the series famous. Battles are usually unbalanced, and the controls don't feel entirely responsive. There are also a lot of elements that are irrelevant to the series. That includes the dull and random script and the inexplicably vengeful and hostile blue puppies. When it comes down to it, the game isn't much fun at all. We give Dragon Ball Z a much-deserved 1 out of 5. Coming up on Extended Play, we get down and dirty with Jack Slate in Dead to Rights. And there are giant mechs on the way in Zone of the Enders, the second runner.
Are you sick of getting kicked off the computer, fed up with missing important phone calls, and tired of hearing those annoying busy signals, all because everyone in the house is sharing one phone line? Not anymore. Introducing the Switchboard from Emerson, the revolutionary phone line sharing system. Watch, just plug in one phone line, then hook in your computer, phone, and fax machine, and you're ready to go. Then surf the web and get quick incoming phone calls while you're online. Receive a quick fax while online. Or take an urgent call even when you're downloading files. The Switchboard works by temporarily splitting the phone signal into 3 separate lines without the costly expense of 3 phone lines. It works with any make or model computer, phone, or fax machine, and any internet service provider. And watch this, with one-line internet connections, your phone won't ring and you'll miss the call. But with the Switchboard, it rings and lights up, telling you to answer the phone, so you'll never miss another call. The Switchboard is perfect for the home office computer, kids' room computer, the college dorm, virtually anywhere you have a computer. Look, you could spend as much as $35 a month for an additional phone line. In a year, that's over $400. Or you can order the Switchboard for just 2 low payments of $19.95. But wait, there's more. Call right now and you'll receive the compact tech vac free. Now easily remove dust and debris from your computer keyboard or gently lift dirt off sensitive electronic equipment. It's yours free. The Switchboard is technology you can trust because it's made by Emerson. And if you're not completely satisfied, return it for a full refund of the purchase price. But keep the tech vac as our gift. You get the revolutionary Switchboard and the compact tech vac for just 2 low payments of $19.95. Order now.
To order your Emerson Switchboard, call 1-800-685-1133. Or send a check or money order for $39.90 plus shipping to the address on your screen. Call now, 1-800-685-1133. That's 1-800-685-1133.
Welcome back to Extended Play from the Anime Expo. Now I'm being joined by Crispin Freeman, who's done the voice work for several anime and recently just wrapped up on Hellsing. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Now, what is Hellsing all about?
Hellsing is a vampire show set in modern-day London about the Hellsing organization, which takes care of vampires, and I play their lead agent, Alucard, the vampire hunter, who is a vampire himself.
All right. Now, when you did the voice work, you didn't wear the outfit, I assume.
No.
That's good. Now, I think one can actually describe the show as being dark and violent.
Absolutely.
Which is, of course, nothing that's strange to video games, especially our next one, which may be the darkest and most violent game this year. It's Namco's Dead to Rights.
Grant City. Hardest place on earth. People aren't born here. They're forged out of broken bones and blood money.
Meet Jack Slate. He may sound like a dime novel, Philip Marlowe film noir wannabe, but this is Grant City, land of urban bad guys and broken dreams.
That's not to say there's no justice here. It's just hard to reach sometimes.
And this is Dead to Rights.
And for God's sake, put some clothes on.
Now, some of you are going to think it's another Max Payne. Both feature protagonists with monosyllabic names,
Here I come, Augie.
a talent for slow-mo shooting, and a taste for revenge. Okay, yes, they're similar, but so what? If a formula works, go with it, and that's just what Namco is doing. Jack Slate is a K-9 unit cop, and he's like something right out of a Hong Kong action movie. a heroic loner who doesn't obey orders, even though he's probably the best cop in Grant City. You can expect plenty of variety between the levels. So far, we've seen the tutorial level, set in a construction site.
Drop it!
The strip club level, complete with a Make the Stripper Dance minigame. This is not your mother's Britney's Dance Beat. And the graveyard level, where you get to mow down villains dressed as clowns.
Clowns with guns? I'll be having nightmares about this for months.
Combat in Dead to Rights is quite varied as well. In addition to the obvious gunplay, you'll also be expected to brawl, disarm enemies, and more. Tossing and shooting fire extinguishers is a nice twist to the high-impact attack. Furthermore, Slate can also command his canine buddy to do his bidding. Shadow the dog can attack opponents, find weapons, and retrieve items. Good boy! So far, Dead to Rights is shaping up to be a fun-filled trip through the bowels of a corrupt metropolis. Keep your crosshairs trained for its arrival at the end of summer.
Initial D, a new arcade racer from Sega Rosso, one of Sega's 11 development teams. It's based on an ultra-hip anime that's currently blowing up in Japan, which makes it a fresh change of pace from the more traditional-styled NASCAR racing games you see in arcades.
While featuring an adjustable seat, gas and brake pedals, and a gear shift, Initial D Arcade Stage is more than just a sit-down racer. The game faithfully brings many of the series' characters, storylines, and even the Initial D racetracks. Fans of the show will be pleased to know that practically every car from the series is featured, including the famous Terreno AE86. There are also 2 modes to choose from, a deep story mode and a very addictive versus mode, where you go head-to-head against another human racer.
When Tokyo Pop brings the anime here this fall, and Sega brings over the arcade games, obviously they're going to be in English, which is a good thing, too, because you're definitely going to want to check out Initial D.
Hi, my name is Sarah Quillian, and I'm from San Diego. And currently, the video game I'm playing right now is Neverwinter Nights from BioWare. I like this game because they have a module system where you can build your own cities. And online, all the players can come and they can test out other people's cities, and you can actually build your own story. And I'm a real Dungeons & Dragons fan, so you can actually dungeon master games for other people.
Die-hard mecha fans rejoice. The Kojima-produced Zone of the Enders will be back soon with its second PS2 installment with Zone of the Enders, the Second Runner. Much like previous episodes, the game will focus on Martian colonists and their quest for independence from the oppressive Earth governments. You can look forward to many improvements over the first Zoe, including a less simplistic battle system. This will allow for more attack options, such as multi-missile attacks, and even the ability to grab a foe and throw them back at other enemies. The graphics will also go through a major overhaul, with cleaner visuals and selective cell shading, namely with the explosions and character models. You can expect to see Zone of the Enders, the Second Runner, early 2003. Coming up on Extended Play, we review the innovative dot hack for the PS2 and meet up with a resurrected assassin in Gungrave. Expo. Now, as you can see, I've been apprehended by some of the characters from Jinro, which is one of the best animes I've seen in a long time. And it comes from Bandai, who's sort of at the center of doing anime to video game crossovers. We're about to look at a new example. We have an exclusive early review of the new role-playing game Dot Hack. Now, this game has already outsold Final Fantasy XI in Japan and is set for release here in October, and it will include an episode of the anime. So here's our review of Dot Hack. Ready for something new? Dot Hack is a single-player, massively multiplayer online RPG that takes place entirely offline. How's that for a genre twister?
Spoken like a true newbie.
In this game within a game, the character you control is your avatar in a fictional online RPG called The World. Something has gone horribly wrong in The World.
The virus is rewriting the data.
The story cleverly unfolds through message posts and email from fellow players, as well as exploration of new areas inside the world. Area fields and dungeons are created through a selection of 3 keywords, each determining a certain attribute of the environment. .hack is clearly not as flashy as games like Final Fantasy X. The versatility in environment creation helps, but the game's visuals can be repetitive and bland. A streamlined and intuitive control scheme makes the fast-paced real-time combat a breeze. Orders can be issued to your teammates to help formulate an attack strategy. Unfortunately, commands and spells must be selected from a menu, which forces a pause in the action. Spell hotkeys would have improved things considerably. When you're not giving viral data a taste of your virtual blade, you can make trades with other characters, and even raise strange cow-like animals called grunties.
Amore! Amore!
The game has a slick presentation style throughout, with numerous unlockable goodies and stat tracking features. And yes, you can choose between English and Japanese voices. .hack's greatest strength is how well it executes the unique concept of an offline online game. As part 1 of a planned 4-part series, .hack is a disappointingly short RPG, but one unlike any other. We give it a 4 out of 5.
See you later, alligator!
My name is Priscilla Hamby, and I'm playing Guitar Man because I played the game and it is like so rockin'. It's designed by one of my favorite artists, 326. It's a music game and it has a whole lot of style. The music is excellent and the gameplay is a whole lot of fun. Yeah!
As if Devil May Cry 2, Red Dead Revolver, Dino Crisis 3, Metal Gear Solid 2, Substance, Onimusha 2, and Shinobi weren't enough, PS2 action gamers now have another game to salivate over with Gungrave. You play Grave, an assassin resurrected from the dead, sent to take out an army of merciless kidnappers, murderers, and extortionists. Anime fans have much to be excited about, as the game's art direction has been handled by Naito, the creator of the hit Trigun. Between stages, players will be treated to some of the most stylish cell shading ever seen in a game. The game will feature relentless action, destructible stages, and a slew of special attacks Grave can execute at a push of a button. He also carries his own coffin, which substitutes as a rocket launcher. Developed by Sega's newly acquired development studio Red Entertainment, Gungrave will be arriving on store shelves this fall. Now, if you're curious who's behind Gungrave, it comes from Red, a new Sega development team, which brings their international teams to an impressive 12. Now, this car here might look familiar. It's the Initial D car, based on the one from the game we saw earlier and from the anime series. And these people here, they look fantastic. Well, if you want to learn more about Initial D, about the Anime Expo, or anything on today's show, you can find it at extendedplay.com. Well, that's it for this week. And so, until next time, game over!